Hey everybody, welcome to Yeah But. Today we got a hot topic that's really on everybody's mind, the NAR lawsuits. A whole bunch of lawsuits going on against the National Association of Realtors and pretty much every real estate company. And once again with our theme, we are going to discuss both sides of the topic, even though we both are really on the same side of it. But that's what we do here, so we're going to flip the coin and let's see how this rolls out. Mr. Barnes, you are side A. Side A. So let's get this thing.
All right, great topic, man. This is the NAR lawsuit, and let's talk about the lawsuit and the ways it's going to totally jack up the way real estate agents and realtors do business in the future.
Yeah, the whole thing started out with two main cases, those being Sitzer-Burnett versus the National Association of Realtors, NAR, in Missouri, though I think Morley versus NAR in Illinois started first, but it didn't reach its conclusion. Both lawsuits allege that NAR has violated antitrust laws by imposing rules that artificially inflate the commissions paid to buyers' agents. Specifically, the lawsuits challenge NAR's rules that require listing agents to compensate buyers' agents for listing a property on the multiple listing system, otherwise known as MLS. These plaintiffs argue that these rules create a cartel-like environment where buyers' agents are able to charge higher commissions than they would in a competitive marketplace. Throwing around that word cartel definitely invokes some emotions.
Sure.
The lawsuits also allege that NAR has conspired with major brokerage firms to enforce these rules. For example, the plaintiffs claim that NAR has pressured brokerage firms to refuse to list properties on MLS unless the seller agrees to pay the buyer's agent commission.
Yeah, but NAR has denied the allegations. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? In these lawsuits, arguing that its rules are pro-competitive and pro-consumer. NAR also claims that the rules help to ensure that buyers' agents are compensated for their services and that sellers have access to a wide range of buyers. Their argument is that by increasing the probability that the buyer has representation, it's increasing fairness. So I don't know what the big deal is.
Yeah, but I guess Sitzer-Burnett and, of course, their lawyers feel that the National Association of Realtors were cooperating with their member brokers to set up a system that ensures that each realtor makes around 3% on each transaction, and have been doing so for a long time. Since the company rules at Keller Williams, Home Services of America, and a bunch of other real estate agencies make their members be members of NAR, and NAR has these rules, they have to obey.
Yeah, but the National Association of Realtors provides a lot of services for real estate agencies. There is a canon of ethics that they are beholden to. There is all kinds of training. They have the largest political lobbying group in the world, which, by the way, blows me away that they lost the suit, whatever. And there's a whole bunch of other things that NAR actually does for the real estate agents. So as far as these companies requiring their employees to be members of NAR, I don't really understand why that's a problem.
Those are all good points. Yeah, but the problem is that the jury, not the Congress, the jury in Missouri unanimously and quickly said that this sounds like cooperation between two or more individuals, typically with the intent to deceive, manipulate, or limit one party's rights. Collusion often involves illegal activities aimed at gaining an unfair advantage or engaging in anti-competitive behavior, which is the legal definition of collusion, which is illegal. Therefore, they quickly ordered NAR, Keller Williams, and Home Services of America to pay $1.78 billion in damages. And now the same lawyers filed the same lawsuit against Compass, EXP, Redfin, Howard Hanna Real Estate, United Real Estate, Douglas Elliman, and Weichert Realtors, and there are several more in the works now.
So I guess Remax and Anywhere were actually the smart ones. They settled for like 50 million and 80 million, and ending the NAR membership requirement. Kind of don't understand that. I don't agree, but whatever. And I'm pretty sure we don't have to flip a coin to see and agree that lawyers suck. And they're just trying to make tons of money off of this lawsuit. It's just a load of crap. It's worked like this forever, and it's fine. This is just shady lawyering trying to make money. And by the way, how are buyer's agents supposed to make a living?
Yeah, we definitely don't need to flip a coin to agree that lawyers suck. And we can both agree to not like them and their gigantic 30% cut in all of these lawsuits. But I guess the court decided that the buyer's agent needs to negotiate their pay directly with their client. I mean, it is kind of weird that the seller has to pay someone who is, by definition, working against their best interest. It's the fiduciary duty of the buyer's agent to get the lowest possible price, which is the lowest possible profit for the seller, and then the seller, who has been minimized, has to turn around and pay them for it. It's a real, thank you, sir, may I have another? When you look at it like that, I mean, it is kind of weird. I guess the theory is that they're arguing, and they convince the jury of, is that by not having to pay the buyer's agent 3%, the seller can sell the house cheaper and the buyer can save 3% on the house or something like that.
Yeah, but it pretty much never works out like that. I mean, they aren't going to just do the math and lower the price by 3%. I don't understand why the jury didn't take into account that it's rarely exactly 3% and 3%. There is negotiations going on. That's the point. That's why you hire a professional realtor or real estate agent. But more importantly, this change isn't really of service to the buyer at all. It's gonna be a freaking mess. Now they have to research and negotiate with a bunch of different realtors or real estate agents to figure out the deal. They are going to have to figure out all of this on their own. The hassle of that is going to scare them off and likely just continue to drive a wedge between the wealthy and the common man. Right? A bunch of people are going to try to do it on their own, buy without an agent, and get screwed. Who is going to draw up the contract? Who's going to pick the title company? How about the spuds? Who's going to fill that out and back it up, right? There are so many. Are some listing agents going to still require a buyer's agent to prevent the appearance of impropriety later, right? In other words, dual agency. I'm telling you, a buyer's agent and a seller's agent are two different jobs. The buyer needs to be represented, and that person that's representing them needs to be compensated just as much as the listing agent.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's going to be a mess for a while. Yeah, but this is America, and we have a free market economy where it's on the buyer to research and negotiate the best deal, free of people trying to cheat them. As the old saying goes, caveat emptor, or buyer beware. There isn't a rule saying they can't have a realtor. In fact, there are like 12 states that still require realtors or require representation. It's just there's no law saying who has to pay them. So it isn't saying you can't have a realtor. It's just saying that the seller doesn't have to pay for it. It's just that now buying a house is like buying a car or an air conditioner or a new puppy. You have to either research the heck out of what you're buying and who you're buying it from, or you have to bring in an expert. And experts want to be paid. That's why you become an expert. Now the option is to the buyer to negotiate paying their agent less money and get the house for less money. They have that option. The jury unanimously decided in this case that somebody had previously removed that option. Now they have freedom.
Yeah, but agents are now just going to show people homes that they can see where they're going to be getting paid their commissions. So, whatever.
Yeah, but that's steering, and it's also illegal. Not really sure how they're going to catch and enforce that, but technically it is illegal, though.
Yeah, but I still think it sucks. it's absolutely going to be a mess to figure out. It's going to scare people off from buying homes, like I said before, especially in a time when it's harder than it has been to purchase home in the first place. For both the buyers and the realtors, I can't believe the NAR lobby didn't do something about this.
Yep, I agree with all of that. Unfortunately, this was a court case, not some new law where they could lobby the senators. And even more unfortunately, the courts enforce the laws and the rules. They actually aren't there to arbitrate the convenience of a purchasing system. It's just what's legal, not what makes sense.
What you gonna do? Okay, so one of the things that Rod and I wanted to share is these are opinions, not necessarily our opinions, and not necessarily those opinions of Man Mortgage, which is the company that we proudly work for.
Proudly.
But what we are doing at Man Mortgage is trying to come up with solutions to help with this, just in case this actually goes all the way through. We have options. We're working on more options. And ultimately, for you as the consumer, it's going to be okay. For you as the buyer's agent, we're here to support you and help you. We know how hard it is to be a real estate agent, whether you're a listing agent or a buyer's agent. You both have significant value, and the consumer needs to know that. And if the consumer doesn't know that, well, quite frankly, they're just not educated. This is the largest decision most people are ever going to make in their life, the biggest purchase probably ever. You don't want them to be, you as a consumer don't want to be represented by someone that has taken hundreds, if not thousands of hours of training and negotiation skills. Please don't try this on your own.
For sure. And even though I argued the lawyer side of the case on this, it is something I believe firmly in and hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So as the product manager here, one of the big things I've been doing is working on training and products to make sure our real estate agent partners get paid regardless of how the appeal of this goes out. So we have multiple down payment assistance programs in every state that pays up to 5% worth of down payment assistance. It goes behind an FHA loan. So only 3.5% of that goes towards the down payment. It leaves extra money as well as, seller contributions. So we can work out scenarios to make sure that our buyer agent partners can still get some compensation on these deals. And that's something we are already working on regardless of how the appeals and the rest of the court cases play out on this.
One thing that we've recently found out is there could be significant issues with FHA and VA. They're not allowing the buyer to pay any commissions. So even though we have the 5% down payment assistance, there may be a challenge in the very short term with guidelines from FHA and VA. We hope that it never comes to this, and I'm quite certain that it won't. I think it's just a matter of redirecting, course correction. That's all. Updating the way that we communicate these things.
Yep, and the overarching point is always work with a professional, whether it's a real estate agent, a professional realtor, or a professional loan officer or mortgage company. We're all here together.
Yes. Hey, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.